Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how you can potentially save money on your cell phone bills. Now, doing some quick Googling, I found that Canada was the 10th most expensive country in the entire world for their cell phone bills. We as Canadians pay an average of about $7.36 per gigabyte, and the average cell phone here in Canada was about $141 per month. So doing some quick math there, the average Canadian has about a 19 gigabyte per month plan. Now, one of the big reasons that we do have such high cell phone bills is the lack of competitors. Essentially, Canada has the big three here, that is Bell, Rogers, and TELUS, that tend to run the show here in Canada. It's a very similar problem that we have to the banking system here in Canada, where the big five or the big six banks tend to run the financial system. And whenever I talk to people and students in the classroom, almost everybody has some sort of 2-year plan with one of the big three. There are other options out there for Canadians, and in today's video I'm going to talk about some of those different options. Here you can see some options that the big three have: Bell, TELUS, and Rogers. I didn't do extensive research into other plans or anything. These are the plans that I found on their website, and so I'm just going to use those for the sake of this video. Now, one of the very first things I have my students do in the classroom is to determine how much data they actually use per month. And this is actually a fairly easy process. You can find these in your settings, especially on an Android device. It breaks it down monthly. Apple users, it's fairly easy as well. They don't break it down monthly, but you can use simple calculation to determine what your monthly data usage is. And the big reason this is important is people tend to just buy the data that they think they need, and they think they need more than they actually do. And so they tend to spend more on data than they should. Why pay for a 200 gigabyte plan when you actually only use 10, 15, 20 gigs per month? The next thing I have my students do is to research plans based on their data usage. Now, there are several plans out there, not just from the big three, and I'm going to go through some of those right now. Here you can see the second tier, basically is what they're called, of the big three, and I've color coded them. So the greens are from the Bell company, and yellow is TELUS, and orange is from the Rogers network. And there's some cheaper options here, and honestly there's more options, right? There weren't a lot of options that I found using the big three, and for the second tier there was a 2 gig plan, a 3 gig plan, a 20 gig plan, a 50 gig plan. So there's different options there available for you. And here you can see the third tier companies. A lot of these will just use 4G networks rather than 5G. If that's a big deal, then don't look at them, but the 4G is still fast enough to run all your videos and all that sort of stuff. And they're a lot cheaper here. You can see here you can get a 100 gig plan for $50 per month. Again, don't spend the $50 per month if you don't need 100 gigs. Look at other options there for you. Then there are these other companies. These aren't owned by the big three. They're just other companies that tend to run off of the networks provided by the big three. And you can see there's 7-Eleven, Speakout, Petrocan has their own mobile network. PC Mobile has one. Videotron. Videotron's not available for everyone in Canada, mostly Quebec and a few places in Ontario. And you can see I've color coded those. And you can see all the different options that they have here. So there's lots of different options to choose from if you switched over to one of these companies. You'll notice that Freedom Mobile does not have a color coding. They run their own network. Some people have expressed that it isn't as reliable as running a network off of the big three, but you can see how cheap some of those plans are. And these were just announced here. I just saw some information on these two companies. So Fizz Mobile, which runs on Rogers network, and the No Name Mobile. So your Superstore No Name brand, they now have their own mobile service. And you can see how cheap some of these plans are here as well. So if you go to Fizz Mobile's website here, I just put in my province as Alberta. I'm assuming the other provinces are all the same price. So I just selected no on the voicemail here. Nobody phones and leaves messages anymore. And you can scroll through these data plans here. A 2 gig for $18 per month, a 3 gig for $20, and so on. You can just scroll through and see which of the which data plan best suits you. And on No Name Mobile's website, you can see their different plans here. You can get 1 gig, but then they give you an extra gig just for doing auto top-ups. Why wouldn't you do that? You get 2 gigs for $19. You can get 5 gigs for $24, and so on. You can scroll through and customize whatever. Again, research how much data do you need. Save money by just paying for what you need. And if you wanted one of the sort of best deals you can possibly have, but you're not a heavy data usage person, you can go to Freedom Mobiles. They offer annual prepaid plans. And so for $120, you get 15 gigs. And for $149, you get 30 gigs. That's for a year, not for a month. That's per year. So you would have to budget out your data usage. And I have that broken down here. So the 15 gigabyte plan for $119 would give you an average of about 1.25 gigabytes per month for $9.92. And the 30 gigabyte plan for $149 per year averages out to about 2.5 gigabytes per month for $12 per month. That's far, far lower than anything that I've seen out there. But again, you would have to budget your data usage. The other thing that should be noted here is just because they have a posted rate, let's say Bell, you went with a Bell 75 gigabyte plan there for $70, you don't have to pay the $70. You can call them up. You've been with them 2 or 3 years now. Call them up, say, listen, I want you to lower my rates. I've been with you for a few years, and if you don't lower my rate, I'm going to go with TELUS or Rogers, and they will bend over backwards to try to keep you. If you don't spend $70 on their company, you're going to spend $70 on one of their competitors. So they will offer you a better deal if you make that phone call. All it takes is a phone call. Call the company, call your company, and just ask for a reduction in the price and see what they will offer. They will offer you something better. I've done this for internet services, cable packages, credit card, annual fees. Companies will try to keep your business. Now, what phone plan do I have personally? For years, I was with Shaw Mobile, and I'm a teacher, so I'm always in a Wi-Fi zone. At the school, there's Wi-Fi. At home, there's Wi-Fi. During sporting events, there was the Shaw Open everywhere, so I always had access to Wi-Fi. So I'm a very light data usage person. So with the Shaw Mobile plan that I had, I got the $0 per month, unlimited phone calls, unlimited texting. And then I would buy a $10 package that gave me 1 gigabyte that would last me for up to 90 days. And sometimes I didn't make the 90 days. Sometimes, let's say after 2 months, I used up the 1 gig. I would just top it up with the $10. Now, when Rogers purchased Shaw, one of the criteria was that they had to offer a similar cell phone plan to Shaw Mobile customers that they already had. Now, obviously, Rogers didn't have anything like that. So what they did was they offered me a package which included $0 per month for unlimited phone, unlimited text, and 1 gigabyte per month. And I had to sign that contract for 5 years. So for the next 5 years, I'm going to pay $0 for unlimited phone, unlimited text, and 1 gig per month. Now, the students all laugh at me because they think 1 gigabyte per month is a joke and they could never survive on 1 gig per month. And that's fine. Again, it's all about customizing to suit your needs, but don't overpay for those needs. Find out the best deal that works for you. So I hope this video has helped you see that there are other options out there for you for your cell phone packages. And if you've enjoyed this video and would like to stay informed of some of my other ones, please subscribe below. And as always, have a wonderful day.